What's your name? What do you do for a living?
My name's Zoe Fag, and I work part-time for a council in Lancashire as an art development officer, and I'm an artist, and at the minute I'm working 2 days a week as a volunteer for the biennial.
2 days a week?
Yeah.
Okay. And why have you decided to become a volunteer for this project?
I've visited the biennial for the past 3 years and I really enjoy it, and I think it brings some really interesting international work to Liverpool, and it gives this buzz. And I like the fact that a lot of Liverpool-based organisations have this independent exhibitions at the same time that link in, but not directly. And so it creates this sort of atmosphere, and it's often quite contemporary, quite exciting work. So,
okay.
Yeah, I just enjoyed the biennial and I wanted to learn more about it.
Right. What's your relation to Liverpool capital of culture? Are you from Liverpool yourself?
I'm not originally from Liverpool. I actually moved here this year. It's somewhere that I've wanted to move to for a while. But this year, because I work in the arts, I thought, there's more jobs around, and there's a lot of events, and there's loads of free community events and things. So
the fact that Liverpool became capital of culture was for you a motivation to move to Liverpool?
Yeah, I wanted to move here anyway, but it was a motivation to get here now, but even before I had a job here. So I'm still working like an hour and a half away, half of the week, but I wanted to be here now to experience all the events that are going on.
And how's your experience so far? Do you still think you can get a job in the field of work that you want?
Yeah, I think luckily, even though Liverpool has quite a lot of deprived areas and it's not a particularly rich city, it has a lot of culture, and it always has had a lot of culture, and it has some quite well established organisations like the Tates and the Blue Coat and the Philharmonic and the Everyman Theatre, and there's quite, I think, there's quite a big cultural sector, and it draws people in, but also I think people from Liverpool are quite happy to try things that are a bit different and stuff, so
okay.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I'm going to get a full-time job there at some point soon.
What's your general opinion on the whole Liverpool capital of culture thing?
I hope that it has a legacy. I hope that it's not just 1 year, whoa, great fun, and then it's over. And I don't think it will be, because I think it's implemented some things that will continue, like my boyfriend and a group of 26 artists already working in Liverpool have set up this thing called the Royal Standard, and it's an artist-led space.
I know.
Oh, you know it?
We've met Mike Carney, he's also a member.
Yeah, so I think that would have happened anyway, but the fact that they were able to open at the beginning of the biennial has meant that they've been able to have this exhibition, and also they've had quite a lot of exchanges with the artists and various other things. And I think that this interjection of money has also meant that a lot of the artists that have studios there have been able to do lots of community-based work, they've been able to exhibit more widely. So in that way it's got this legacy, but there's also been some really good carnivals and things. So I went to a really good sort of Caribbean style carnival, and there's been a big influence with the abolition of slavery, because Liverpool was a really big port of slavery, so that's been quite exciting. And then they've brought in quite a lot of big sort of crowd-pleasing things, which I think you need to do as a capital culture. You have to bring people in. But I think they have less of a legacy, and they're quite expensive.
You mean like events like the Spider?
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing, but
it won't leave a legacy or
I don't know. Maybe because people come to Liverpool and they go, oh, Liverpool's actually quite nice, so maybe it will bring people in. But I think as far as building roots in the community and getting people involved in arts that maybe weren't, or making artists produce more work themselves, maybe. But I think you need the mix. If you're going to have capital culture, you can't just put all your money into organisations that are already there. You need to have. So I think they've done it quite well. But because I've only been here since July, I haven't seen the whole thing. And I think they've done some things that are, like they had, what's his name from the Beatles, the drummer.
Ringo Starr.
That's terrible. I can't remember his name.
Obviously, you're not from Liverpool.
Yeah, exactly. Not implanted. And I think that was a bit disappointing for people, because he only did one song, and they paid so much money for him to come, and he didn't play enough. They wanted him to play an old Beatles song, and so I think things like that, they get a lot of people in, but then they've got to deliver. If you get like this big wow, you have to deliver on it.
Well, if you were in charge of the whole event, are there any things you would have done otherwise than they've done?
I don't know, because I can't really analyse it totally, but I suppose I would have made sure that I'm working with services that exist already, like the youth service and working with maybe groups of homeless people or community groups, which I think they are doing, but make sure that you get to everyone, because I think that's the only way to get people really interested in culture for the long term. So I think that's happened, but I don't know how much, and I don't know
if
how
it's
much.
come to the surface and people are aware of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think maybe linking in the big projects like the Spider with other smaller events would have been nice, like so that at the same time, I think for some things, like I went to a lantern festival last week that happens every year, but it was really big this year. It had dance performances, and they've had lots of groups that have made things as well. And I think, and maybe linking in big events with artist-led places and local artists, and making sure that this year is a really good time for Liverpool artists, and promoting the fact that actually there's a lot of artists in Liverpool,
right.
Visual and performance and everything. So, I don't know, if maybe they've done that.
Do you think the people, the inhabitants of Liverpool, they're very proud already? They've always been in the city.
Yeah.
Do you think it's grown?
I think people are quite fiercely proud of being from Liverpool anyway, and it has its very distinct culture. Even compared to Manchester or anywhere close by it, Liverpool has its own distinct culture. And I think having capital culture for a lot of people has meant this even more proud, and look at all these great things we're doing. But it has equally, people have criticised the fact that public money is being spent on art rather than hospitals or education. And so I think it needs to show that it's value for money as well, even though it's European money. People want to see
result.
Yeah,
right.
Which, I think that's very fair. But I think you also have to just realise that paying for people to have a great time isn't totally a waste of money. Like, if you're happy in the city that you live in and you're proud of it, maybe that's enough.
Gives you energy to accomplish something yourself.
Exactly.
Right.
And if you don't earn loads of money, being able to go to loads of free events means that the quality of your life is better.
Has this year affected your personal life or your personal business in any direct way?
It's encouraged me to make more artwork by being involved in the exhibition with the other volunteers from the biennial. Because when I graduated, I made lots of work, and then I sort of didn't make so much for a while. So I suppose it's encouraged me to be an artist, and it's meant that I get to go to loads of great art events and things. So
do you think the Liverpool invests enough in young creative talents? Because you can surely a big Spider you cannot make it with students. You have to take professionals to do that. But are there also opportunities and possibilities for people who just graduated, for instance, in academies?
I think the John Moores University realised that a lot of people leave Liverpool when they graduate, because even though there is a creative market, it's not huge because it's not a huge city, and they need to make sure that there's enough industry and enough small businesses and enough bigger creative businesses to hang on to like retain students, because the northwest of England is doing quite well for creative industries. We're higher than I think many other places other than London. So I don't know how Liverpool's doing. I think that's a long-term thing that you need to look at. So there can always be more. I think places like Tate have a good youth programme, but it needs to be expanded. And I think they are looking at that, because recently the new piece of government legislation came in called Find Your Talent, and it's like entitling every child aged 0 to 19 to 5 hours of cultural practice a week. And I know that they're trying to implement that through the galleries, working with schools, youth service, out of hours things. Okay. So I think they're working
That's
on
really going on.
So I think, that's nationally, but I think here they've already got the structure, and they're targeting places where maybe people aren't accessing culture as much. So
what's the